positive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and your daily Chelsea news update. Big up to everyone that's already locked in, guys. Make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. We're just 10 subscribers away now from 10.7k. So that is going to be done in this show this afternoon. 10 away from 10.7. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And plenty to dive into as always. Chelsea are very close now to signing Filip Jørgensen from Villarreal. Agreement with Villarreal is at its final stages. So Chelsea closing on a new goalkeeper. We've had James speaking about how he feels that his injury issues are now behind him. Let's hope that they are. Sources in Spain are suggesting that Atletico Madrid are increasingly confident of agreeing a fee with Chelsea for Conor Gallagher. Wesley Fofana's been talking about how his love for Chelsea started because of Didier Drogba. Who else? There's been some interesting training observations as well. Ben Chilwell apparently trained with the wingers in the most recent training session, whilst James inverted a lot and trained with the midfielders. We're going to be taking a little dive into Chelsea's 25 plus. We're going to take a little dive into looking at Chelsea's signings over the age of 25 since 2015 and get a bit of an insight into why they might have just changed the policy from to not really signing that sort of age group anymore. There's a brilliant thread on Twitter about it, and we're going to dive into that as well. What else is going on? We've got Noni Madueke talking about how he feels he can be the answer to Chelsea's right wing issues, and of course, we have got, I'm going to be addressing criticism that Enzo Maresca has been facing because of the 2-2 draw with Wrexham, which I find quite astonishing, to be perfectly honest. Quite astonishing that there's already people criticising Maresca after one game of football for which we were in the States for less than 48 hours before we played it. And they were in their third game of pre-season and we were in our first one. So, yeah, anyway, people criticising Maresca, we're going to dive into that as well. But what are you lot saying in the chat? And then we'll get cracking. For next pre-season games, I would like to see Mudryk and Dewsbury Hall. Mudryk wasn't involved in the first pre-season game because everyone that was involved in an international tournament with their countries in the summer that's on the tour right now was rested for the first game. So Mudryk should be involved tomorrow. Dewsbury Hall had a small niggle, which is why he was ruled out. So he should also hopefully be involved tomorrow as well. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd be surprised if we lost to Celtic. I mean, look, you never know. But ultimately, the pre-season isn't really about the results. It's just about getting the ideas across. Yes, big up. Big up, brother. Hope you're doing well. Yep, Celtic tomorrow. Yes, big up, Vic. Over 60 million spent on 4 goalkeepers in 18 months. Yep, optically doesn't look great. And this is why this one simply has to work, because we can't keep going through signing a new goalkeeper. This simply has to work. If this doesn't work, then serious questions need to be asked about the sporting directors. Well, probably more serious questions than are already being asked. New goalkeeper is madness. Oh, and also, sorry, forgot to mention, Cole Palmer is set to have a new role for Chelsea this season as well. The Athletic reporting that he could well be playing more centrally this season rather than off the right-hand side. So that's going to be rather interesting as well. Guys, already over 50 people in the building, only 18 likes. Smash that like button. Let's get this up to 50 likes and well towards 100 likes. Bro needs to be moved on. Yep, yes, Will, hope you're doing well, bro. All good with me. Do you think Lavia could play the left-back position? No, I don't think so, and I don't know why we'll be doing that. What do you think should be done relating to Petrovic? Well, he should be staying, and he should be the number 2, or it should be between him and Jorgensen for the number 1 shirt, and Sanchez should be gone. But I think ultimately the signing of Jorgensen means that Petrovic is done. Petrovic is done at Chelsea, whether it's just for this season and he goes on loan somewhere, and maybe they hope they can shift Sanchez next season, next summer. I don't know. But yeah, I think what it says is that definitely for this upcoming season, there's no place for Petrovic. That's what it looks like. Yep, let's get him in. Please, James, stay fit for more than 3 games. I agree. Minimum expectation this season: we have to get Champions League football. It's as simple as that. That has to be the expectation. That will be my expectation. Whether it all happens or not remains to be seen. But anything other than not getting Champions League football, you can't set your expectations any lower than that. It's that simple in my mind. We need to sell players. I thought we will end of the season, and Sar's gone. Yeah, look, I think the player sales will start to pick up, but yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult. It's obviously taken a bit longer than ideally we all would have liked. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's address Filip Jørgensen briefly, because that deal is getting ever closer now. So let me just find it right now. So here we are. Chelsea are closing in on Filip Jørgensen deal as agreement with Villarreal is at final stages. Chelsea have improved their proposal after initial bid worth 20 million euros, and they're just discussing, deal structure with Villarreal. Jorgensen has already agreed on a contract. I think Villarreal were wanting about £21 million for, I don't know what's going on there. People got hiccups, burping all over the fucking gaff. Apologies. I think Villarreal wanting about £21 million for him. I suspect we'll agree on a fee somewhere in the region of maybe 19 or 20 million as a bit of a compromise. And yeah, he's already following Chelsea on Instagram. This deal, I suspect, if it's not announced this evening, Fabrizio's already quote tweeted it with a little countdown timer and a Danish flag. So we know what's coming. This deal is virtually done. This deal will happen, and I suspect it will. Be confirmed over the weekend, and then Jorgensen will join up with Chelsea. You'd imagine in America. And maybe he plays some part in the games against maybe Club America might be a bit soon. Maybe he plays some part in the final two friendlies against Real Madrid or Man City, and hopefully then plays a role also against Inter Milan at Stamford Bridge. Do you think Broja needs to stay? No, Broja should be gone. Yeah, big up to Richard. You're doing well, bro. Make sure you like and subscribe. Guys, that's really important. We're almost at 10.7K. I think we're about 10 subscribers away. That is happening today. So all you good people that are in here, or all you good people that are tuning in as well, hit the subscribe button. Get me to 10.7K. Light work. Oh, yeah, and the Conference League has to be a minimum as well. Other teams will not want to do us favours. We'll only get lowballed for our players. Let's wait and see. Off the topic, would you rather play for PSG, Inter, or Atletico? Inter Milan for me. Inter Milan. Carl needs to stop fighting. No, I don't think he was causing any problems. It's one of them, isn't it? A late challenge was left on him. He didn't take too kindly to it. Yeah, it was a bit fiery. You probably want to try and stamp that out. But look, I don't think it's a big deal. Yes, big up. I'm confused. Has been told he's not good with the ball at his feet. Well, I think he is good with the ball at his feet. Otherwise, we wouldn't be signing him. I think that's pretty obvious, pretty clear. I just think that's pretty obvious and pretty clear to be brutally honest, guys. Not happy with transfer business so far. It's mid-table level recruitment and sums up what our clubs become under these owners. Fair enough. Our left side doesn't contribute much at all. Mudryk's not good enough, and Sterling is washed. Look, let's wait and see. I think this is a big season for Mudryk. If it doesn't happen for Mudryk this season, then I think he probably is done at Chelsea, if we're being brutally honest. Sterling, I agree. Haven't seen anything to suggest he's going to be a success at Chelsea, but let's wait and see what the new season's got in store for us. My position on the pitch used to play centre forward or off the right, but cutting in because I'm left-footed. But yeah, I haven't played football for a while now. But yeah, either playing wide or through the middle. And sometimes as an emergency, I did used to play at fullback a little bit as well, but very occasionally. What time's the game tomorrow? 9 p.m. UK time. So yeah. Anyway, Jorgensen deal virtually done, guys. He'll be the new Chelsea goalkeeper. And yeah, look, there are some positives to his look. I don't know enough about him. There's obviously going to be some negatives to his game. He's still young. And at this point, it is what it is. I don't know how much sense this makes. But if he turns out to be better than most and he ends up starting, then it will be worth it. Is he better than Sanchez? I don't know. I mean, I still prefer Petrovic, but this is kind of where we are at the with the situation right now. Look, I think there's obvious strengths and weaknesses to his game. I think a big weakness is the fact that he does parry a lot of shots out into danger. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. But I think we've got to set realistic expectations here, guys. We've become accustomed to youngsters being purchased, and we need. I guess we're in a situation now where we should realise by now that they're going to need time to develop. Not everyone's going to be a Cole Palmer and hit the ground running. Some need more time to realise their potential. I don't know. Like with Jorgensen, is it going to be the case or not? I think there's definitely sections of the fan base that will be unhappy because this move is basically going to force Petrovic out of the squad, which I think is very, very harsh. But look, I'm hoping that fans don't put an awful lot of pressure on him. He's only 22 years old. So there's very young for a goalkeeper. I don't know. I hope we can be. I hope he does well. I really do. We should all want him to do well at the end of the day. But he's an academy goalkeeper from Villarreal. He got the starting spot last season. He's good at ball. He's good at playing the ball. He commands his area, claims crosses, parrying shots into dangerous areas too often is a bit of a problem. Is a bit of a problem for sure. And that's something that definitely needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. But we just got to give the kid a chance. That's what we have to do. You just got to give the guy a chance and see what happens. See what happens there. But I don't think he's going to start. He won't start. He won't go straight into the side. But he will. I'd be surprised if he wasn't the first choice goalkeeper by Christmas, or certainly by the end of the season. I think he'll be. I think he'll be the first choice. And yeah, all we can do is hope that this one works out, guys, because we desperately need this to work out. All we can do is hope it works out. And yeah, it's a shame that it looks like Petrovic is going to end up being the fall guy. I think that's really unfortunate. I think it's really harsh. I can't quite get my head around it either, as to why Petrovic has got to be sacrificed. Well, I can understand to a degree because there's no market for Robert Sanchez, and Maresca's identified that we need another goalkeeper, and so yeah. Unfortunately, as a result of him doing well and having more potential than Sanchez, and there being more of a market for him, he is therefore going to be the one who ends up getting sacrificed, and that's a real shame. That is a real shame, guys. What else have we got going on here? Another youngster stockpiled. All he knows want to do. Doesn't matter about buying proven top players to improve the first team and take us to the next level. I wouldn't say it was a pointless signing because obviously Maresca clearly feels that they need a new goalkeeper. And I think to one degree, it's good that we're listening to the manager and giving him what he wants. But at the same time, it just makes us look like idiots that we're signing our third goalkeeper in 2 windows. We signed 2 keepers last summer, and now suddenly neither of them are deemed good enough. And look, let's hope that this is not the case by any stretch of the imagination. But I think it's quite clear, guys, that there's every chance we could end up being in a position next summer where, we'd suddenly decide, actually, Jorgensen's not what we thought. He's not good enough. And then we need to go and sign another bloody goalkeeper. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's, you can go round and round in circles with this. And so we've got to get it done. This has to work. There's no two ways about it. This must work with Jorgensen. And he needs to be given the time to settle in, to bed in. And you know what? He will make mistakes. He will give the ball away. He probably will end up costing us a few points. He probably will cost us some goals. But we've got to stick with him. We've got to back him. And he's only going to learn he's got to learn, and he's going to make mistakes along the way. That's the one thing that we need to realize here, guys, is that he will be making mistakes along the way, and we just have to back him and accept that that's going to be part and parcel of this Maresca system, playing out from the back and all that sort of stuff. But that is the latest on Filip Jørgensen. He will be, yeah, but they're not all like first choice goalkeepers, are they? I mean, Ramsdale came in. Arteta decided after 2 years that he needed a better goalkeeper. He got Raya in, and that was that. Obviously, in regards to this Ajax keeper that's coming from Ajax, like an England under-18 international, that's not really to do with the first teams. I don't really count that, just like I'm not really counting Slanina either. So yeah, there we go. So that is the latest on Jorgensen. That deal should be announced over the weekend, people. Definitely, yeah. I mean, that'll be the next signing. Whether we end up with any more signings, only time will tell. The season is ticking ever closer. So yeah, we're going to see what happens on that one, guys. We are 9 subscribers away from 10.7k. Keep smashing that subscribe button, people. It's free and it takes seconds to do so, and keep hitting the likes. We're on 44 likes. Let's get this up to 50 likes as quickly as possible. We played out of the back with Poch. We made loads of mistakes. Yeah, we did make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, we did. And you're going to make mistakes when you play out from the back. That's what happens when you play that brand of football. Mistakes are going to be made when you play out from the back. But what I want to talk about now, guys, is criticism of Enzo Maresca. And like he made some comments, people, after obviously he spoke after the Wrexham game. And this is one set of quotes that I saw got particular criticism. In this moment, we try to build up with 3 and 2. It doesn't matter the level of opponent. When they sit back with 11 behind the ball, it isn't easy. I'm very happy about the performance in general. We started 2 weeks ago. It's important to see the identity of the team. Tonight was quite clear. Now, I get it, from the point of view that you sort of hear a manager saying, this is another manager saying it's really difficult to break down teams with a low block. It's just the first game. So I give him a little bit of slack with that. I think there were definitely things to be happy about with the performance. No doubt about it. There were definite signs of an identity there. There were signs of what you can expect to see from the season ahead. But I've seen a lot of criticism from Maresca for this performance. I don't understand it. I really don't. Everyone last season was raving about the preseason, right? We beat Wrexham 5-0. We had some good results. We were playing some good stuff. And then suddenly Poch stopped doing what we did in preseason. Maresca's first game, he's trying to bring a modern philosophy, and he's already getting pelters. When will people realize that preseason doesn't mean anything? It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. So, these games don't mean anything. If they actually meant something, we'd be touring the UK playing teams. They're basically training sessions to make a profit. Preseason means something when we play, a Real Madrid or an Inter, for example, as we should be there close. We should be close to the standard. But it's mind-boggling. The football's crap. We drew to Wrexham. This and that. Man City. Yeah, exactly. Man City lost to Celtic. I mean, I don't know if people are just doing it for attention, doing it for clicks or whatever, whatever makes them happy. But criticism of the manager after one game where where we'd been in the country for less than 48 hours against a team that was on their 3rd game of pre-season, more accustomed to the conditions and whatnot. Yeah, a real strange one that I can't really get my head about. Pre-season is about getting the team fit. It's about establishing an identity. It's about getting the players to understand what's being asked of them. And then as you get towards the last couple of games, if I'm looking at the last 3 games really, Madrid, City, and Inter Milan. That's where I'm needing to see something decent. But this against Wrexham, against Celtic, against Club America, I'm not really that fussed about it. Yes, of course I want us to win. You always want to win no matter what the game is. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. Why are people so obsessed with analyzing every single little thing that the club does? It makes the mind boggle. It really does, guys. I don't know what else to really add on the Maresca stuff, but we've got to be patient. This is going to take time. But I think one thing I think I can say with some degree of confidence is that you get the feeling that this sort of football under Maresca will work. That's what I'm getting at here. I think that's what I'm feeling. This will work, this football. I think the biggest difference for me is that I think that Enzo's style will get results when it's executed correctly, because you are in control of a lot of the variables in a game, whereas Pochettino's style was massively dependent on kind of a like if it's your day kind of vibe, a moment's vibe. Whereas I think we're going to be a lot better collectively as a team, and we'll be a lot more solid and we'll look a lot better. We might not have as many crazy games and be as exciting to watch potentially, but there'll be a lot more controlling games, and I think that's going to be a positive for us. Enzo lost his first game. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. You could lose every game. Like we were raving about pre-season, right? As I said on the Pochettino, we turned up to the start of the season. We won 3 out of our first 10 matches. This is my point. You can have an amazing pre-season and do what we did last season, where you win 3 of your first 10. You can have an average pre-season where the results aren't great, but you rock up and you win like 6 or 7 of your first 10 games. This is what people aren't really getting. I think there's so many reactionary people in the fan base. I don't think the football will be. I don't think it'll be boring. It definitely won't be as end to end, because there's going to be more control, which is a good thing. Yeah, sure. From a viewing perspective, it might not be as exciting, but as long as we're winning, if it's a winning brand of football, that's what means. That's what means the most to me. A winning brand of football. Simple as that. Just win, 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 win. That's what we are. That's what we've got to be doing, guys. We just need to keep winning. Remember, guys, this guy coaches our team. Yeah, exactly. You would think we lost here. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of our fans take everything to the extreme. Whether it's a loss, everyone should be sacked, and even if we win, there's always something to complain about. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, this is it. It doesn't mean anything. I think we'll make one statement signing. I'll be honest, brother. I don't think we will. I really don't think we will make a statement signing. But again, I could be wrong on that one. Most people don't even realize we gave up 60 plus goals last season. They'd rather see exciting football. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have a bit less exciting, a bit more boring, but we're winning more games, or we're certainly losing less games. That's the big thing. So this criticism of Maresca is just, it's crazy, isn't it? It really is. It really is crazy. But you're always going to get people that are just never happy or are always looking to moan about stuff. That's what you're looking at here. There's always going to be people who want to moan, who are not happy, who would rather overlook the positives the entire time. So yeah, there we go. There we go on that. But yeah, look, I'll be real. I thought the first half against Wrexham, by the way, was good. I thought it was pretty decent. The second half was a lot worse. It was disjointed, as you'd expect in a first pre-season game. We made 10 changes. Of course, it's not going to be all that. It really isn't. But yeah, Yeah, he was Pep's assist. He was one of Pep's assistants when they won the treble. Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't really classify these people as proper fans. They would rather the team lose to suit their agenda, as you say. So yeah, it's amazing the sort of people that do exist within the fan base. It's quite fascinating. Quite fascinating. Mourinho won the league with some boring football. Bro, winning football is not boring football. I can tell you now. Yes, big up, big up. Generally, some people, and all we know, who want the club to fail because of the sales of people like Mount. Yeah, for sure. I think the only preseason game that matters is the last one. Yeah, true. I would agree. Yeah, the last couple. I think the ones where you're getting closer to the season, you're playing a better level of opposition. Yeah, those are the ones that, in my opinion, they definitely start to matter. Those ones. But yeah. Guys, we're 57 likes, 107 in the building. Keep smashing that like button. Let's get this up over 100 likes. That should be light work for us. Shouldn't be difficult whatsoever. So please keep smashing that like button. Please keep hitting the subscribe button as well. Still requiring 9 more subscribers, guys, to hit the 10.7. So smash that subscribe button. Let's make sure we get there, people. It's free. It takes seconds to do, and I'd be forever grateful. So make sure you're doing it. Let's get it done. That's why I don't take anything people say on Twitter serious, because the fans that go to the bridge are more patient. Yeah, to a degree. The same goes for transfers. Unless the players have previously hyped, they assume they are trash, even though they've never seen even a YouTube highlight. Yeah, this is it. You know, you can be underwhelmed by signing, but I'm not going to write someone off but just because I've not heard of them very much or not seen much of them play. You know, it's so narrow-minded to do that. Mark Guiu looks a good player. Yeah, he looks good when he played against Wrexham. But on the flip side, what I would say is, guys, you would expect a player who's come through the Barcelona academy, who's played for Barcelona, who's scored in the Champions League, who's scored in La Liga, to look half decent against Wrexham. You know, I need to see more against a better level of opposition. Let's see what you do against Celtic. Let's see what you do against Real Madrid. Let's see what you do against Man City. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he's well built. He's a physical presence. He doesn't look like he's built like a normal 18-year-old. That's absolutely certain. But yeah, let's move away from the Maresca stuff. And let's talk about what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, we're going to talk about some key points from the final training session before the Celtic game. So this is come from Feroz, who is out on the pre-season tour. Ben Chilwell trained with the wingers. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. James inverted a lot and trained with the midfielders. Mudryk, Madueke, and Guiu looked sharp. I don't really know what Chilwell's role in this team is going to be perfectly honest, guys. We don't want to see any more Chilwell left wing stuff. Maybe he was just working there to improve on the attacking side of his game, potentially, how to hold the width or whatever it might be. I personally, I've seen a lot of people reading too much into Chilwell training with the wingers. I don't think it necessarily means that he's going to be, he's going to be a winger this season. He absolutely isn't, in my mind. But we will have to see, guys. James inverting into midfield, I don't mind it. To be perfectly honest, my only thing would be is that obviously it takes away a lot from his attacking prowess. You know, are we going to see those marauding runs down the right hand side, getting balls into the box and whatnot if he's inverting into midfield? I don't know if we are going to be seeing that necessarily, and that's kind of that's a bit of a shame in my view. It really is, because yeah, maybe his body's not capable of doing that, or they don't think they're going to take the risk. I don't think James will be inverting every time he plays, but by inverting him into midfield, I think you do lose a big part of his game. You know, you do lose a big part of his game, but I think it's too early to say whether his body can deal with with the demands of playing as a modern day fullback. I think it's too early to come to those conclusions, but certainly you do lose a big part of Reece's game when he inverts into midfield. And yes, he's got experience of playing in midfield. He played there when he was younger. He played there when he was on loan at Wigan. So yeah, we'll see on that one. We will see on that one, but yeah, it's not the most exciting, is it? It's not the most exciting. It's good to see that Mudryk, Madueke, and Guihu looked sharp. That's fair. It is only training, though. Of course, sometimes you can only judge what you see on training. That's how you get your chance in the team. But yeah, look, maybe Chilwell is going to be like how who's Gwydion is used. I would prefer James to play on the wing. I don't think James is going to play on the wing, but yeah, Cucurella will also invert. It's not going to be... if we keep a high enough line, we will be in position to make crosses. Yeah, that's also fair. We had no left back that could invert in the last game. Let's wait to see what happens when Cuckoo and Vega play. Yeah, look, this is it, right? Maresca inverted Ricardo Pereira for Leicester last season. But because we've got options that can invert on both sides, depending on we can mix it up during the game. We've got options there. Cucurella can definitely invert. Reece can invert. Gusto can invert. Vega can probably invert. I think it's clear that Maresca doesn't trust Chilwell to invert. I would like to see it just to see what it's like. I'm sure it's something that we will try in the preseason. No doubt about it. I think we'll definitely try it. Would you sell? No, I wouldn't. Look, if an offer comes in for Chilwell, that's a decent offer. Then yeah, I would consider it. But I think the way I see it is this is probably his last season at the club. He'll have 2 years left after this one. I don't expect he'll be offered a new deal. And quite frankly, I'm not sure what sort of a season he is going to have. I think he could prove people wrong, but I think there's a lot more chance that Cucurella and even Vega could be more beneficial than him this season. I do think that. Reece's chance creation is way too good. Yeah, it definitely is. I really hope we play in Kunku Central. Yeah, let's see. It will be interesting to see if the keeper comes up to play with the back line next game. Yeah, it will be. James is better moving forward near the line than inverting. No, but again, Gusto, that's the first time he's ever inverted, I think. So it's obviously going to be a little bit alien to him doing that. Yeah, but he's definitely got the capabilities to do so. It's not hard, is it? The greatest of respect to Broja, it's not hard to look better than Broja. If we're being really honest here, it's not particularly difficult to look better than him. But yeah, look, I'm excited for the game tomorrow. There's a lot more things that I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully with the one game under our belts already, we should see an improved showing against Celtic. It should be better than what we saw against Wrexham. Maybe not as many changes at halftime. Maybe some players will play 60 minutes or whatever, compared to just having a half. Let's wait and see. Let's see, if Mudryk's involved, if Dewsbury Hall's involved, if Disasi's involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of players that weren't involved. Caicedo, I imagine, will probably be involved as well. Maybe Jackson's involved. I'm not sure what his injury scenario is at the moment. But yeah, I'm excited, guys. I think Poch's reason for inverting the left back is because our better players are on the right hand side. Yeah, maybe. What change? I'm not. This doesn't really. I don't really care. Everyone plays in preseason pretty much anyway. So I don't really think it makes an awful lot of difference, to be perfectly honest. Sanchez looked calm, but let's see how he plays deeper in the preseason. Yeah, look, one half against Wrexham is quite hard to come to any conclusions about anything, really. Yes, big up, brother. It's pretty evident enough Chilwell and Sterling are finished. They have become a weak link, that left-hand side. That game, they were the two experienced players on the pitch, but dreadful. Yeah, I hear you. I believe Misha's going to have a good season. Yeah, I hope so as well. Look, if Guihu does well, then yeah, I think there's a bit of substance to that. But this is one half against Wrexham. We're going to need to see a lot more before we come to that before we come to that conclusion. But yeah, that's kind of the observations from the last training session, and I'm very much looking forward to the game against Celtic. Very much looking forward to that game against Celtic. But yeah, guys, keep smashing that like button. We're 116 in the building. We're 67 likes. Let's get this up to 100 likes, people. Keep smashing the thumbs up. It's free. It takes seconds to do. It would really, really help me out. And we're still 8 subscribers away from the big 10.7. So guys, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you are new around here and you haven't done so already. Don't just watch the content and enjoy it without hitting the subscribe button. So please subscribe. Please keep hitting those likes. We're 30 likes away, guys. There's 115 in the building. There's definitely 30 people that haven't smashed that like button. So whatever you're doing right now, just drop under the screen, press the thumbs up, and please, please, please help me out. Guys, I wanted to dive into a thread that I found on Twitter that's quite fascinating about Chelsea's under 25 policy put together by Rob. Big up to Rob, who's been on the channel a number of times in the past. He's put this out. I think it's now finally fair to do a thread looking at age 25 plus signings since 2015 and perhaps shed some light on why Chelsea are not just walloping huge money on older players. I'll be using a simple tick cross system, or NA if not played enough. So this is going back to 2015. Radamel Falcao, failure. Begovic, failure. Pedro was a success. Gidabogi, failure. Pato, failure. And that Marco Emilia obviously didn't play. Kante, yes. Alonso, yes. David Luiz, yes. Eduardo, that goalkeeper, probably didn't even play. Drinkwater, absolutely not. Caballero on a free, yeah, that was all right. Jorginho, yep. Higuain, Rob Green, and Zappacosta, no. 2019, we had a transfer ban. 2020, Hakim Ziyech, no good. Thiago Silva, absolutely. And Edouard Mendy, absolutely. 2021, what a hideous time that was. Lukaku, failure. Saul, failure. Besnelli, just vibes. And then go back to 2022. Sterling, Koulibaly, Zakaria, and Aubameyang, all failures over 25. And Nkunku, too early to say. Sanchez, no. And I think Disasi goes, I mean, maybe Disasi as a no is a bit harsh, but I get where he's coming from. Or a disappointment, sorry. Total deals 29, 7 successes, disappointment 17. Perhaps most crucially, in every clear late window to date, every experienced player has really disappointed. I think the fact the first window results have been so poor has definitely impacted the approach to investment, and also when you factor in the historic wage burden. Now, fair is only fair, so I'll be doing one of these for players under 25 later today, and I'll distinctify between Roman and Clear Lake era. Oh, we obviously got Olivier Giroud as well. Yeah. This is fascinating, isn't it? I wonder if Chelsea are put off by the fact that, you know, the number of players over the age of 25 that we signed in the past, a lot of them have not been a success. Now, I wonder if that's what's put them off and they want to go for younger players because they're put off by the record. I wonder how much, you know, there's no denying it. The players that we signed in that first summer, you know, particularly the overaged ones, have all been a failure. None of them have been a success whatsoever. But is that really a reason to then not want to sign players over the age of 25? I mean, obviously Dewsbury Hall 25, Tosin was 26, but it was a free. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting one, isn't it? It really is an interesting one. We signed 29 players over the age of 25 since 2015. It's a very interesting one. I'm just not sure if this is grounds to completely abandon the idea of signing anyone over the age of 25. I mean, what's to say that signing young players is going to be any more successful? What is to say? Is there anything to say that is going to be the case? I don't think there is, guys. I don't think there's anything to suggest that, you know, it will be the case that we will sign players like, you know, these youngsters will necessarily be any better. I think it's important that I think more is that we've not really identified the right sort of player when we've been going for those older ones. I think that's more of an issue, that the lack of identifying the right sort of player. And look, I think what I would question though is why poor investment over players, of the age of 25. Why has that led to them not investing in them at all? Surely the answer is to invest in better players than stopping doing so completely. It's an interesting one. It really is. I'm kind of fascinated by it as well, isn't it? I mean, look, I admire the ownership for taking a long-term outlook on recruitment. It's bold and it aims to be sustainable and its success over a number of years. However, I can't help but be concerned by, in my opinion, what looks like a total discarding of the short and medium term, which has not only cost us financially, it's also divided the fan base. I kind of just wish they'd maybe shifted the dial just a little bit rather than going from one extreme to the other. I just can't get my head around this obvious neglect of the short and medium term, because the here and the now is more important, arguably, than the future. Yes, but he was signed when he was 25, and I think that was a deal that was agreed under the previous ownership. I think that deal was agreed under the previous ownership, but it's a fascinating discussion. Look, I haven't necessarily got a massive issue with what age the players are, but my concern would be we don't have enough players that are good enough at the moment. So yeah, I mean, look, most of the big names haven't been a success, but is that because we've targeted bad players, or is that because we've just signed big names without looking into their character, without actually really thinking, are they right for the club? Do they fit the system? Do they fit the style of play that we're looking to implement? I think a number of those deals can also go down to the fact that we were just signing whatever big names without actually thinking about how they would really fit in at the football club. I think a lot of it can potentially go down to that. But I just thought it was a very interesting. I just thought it was a very interesting read. Because most of Chelsea's signings over the age of 25 since 2015, they've not been a success. And I can understand why that would potentially put you off. I can absolutely understand why that would potentially put you off. But I think it's more important to make sure you're signing the right player rather than just abandoning, signing players of a certain age because of what's happened in the past. I think there's a balance to be struck between the two. And I just wish they hadn't gone from one extreme to the other. I think they could have definitely found a bit more of a middle ground, certainly a better middle ground, because right now we are looking at a situation where we've just gone from one extreme to the other. I just feel we could have been better balanced, and we could have definitely met in the middle somewhere. That would have made a lot more sense in my mind anyway. I think that would have made a lot more sense. But it is what it is. We're going down this route, and we just got to see what happens. I mean, Cunha, I think would have been a good signing. The problem was those old players are no longer playing a big part for their clubs. I hear you. But Kepa wasn't over 25 when we signed him. We sold Mount, and he's not good. We did sell Mount, correct? We did. But yeah, look, I think look, you could talk about Chelsea's transfer policy all day. I just feel that we've gone too far in the opposite direction, and there just could have been a bit more of a middle ground, which I think would have served us better. But ultimately, it's not to be. let's see what the rest of the window holds for us. But I'm not getting too excited. I just think that, you know, there are, like, there's nothing wrong with signing, you know, some more, like, you know, more experienced players. I don't necessarily think that, you know, age is that important, but I would say more experience. You can be 24, 25 and have hundreds of games under your belt and be experienced. It's not an age thing. But yeah, I just think the lack of regard for the short and medium term, that I can't help but be concerned by that. And I just think if you're not concerned by that, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why you wouldn't be concerned by it. Fair enough. Yeah, look, if he turns out to be good, then great. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm massively excited by this signing because I don't know enough about him. I don't really know how good he is. But like with everyone that comes to the club, I'm going to hope that he does well, and I will be supporting him. Recruiting is not an exact science. Young players on low wages keep their transfer value better. Of course they do. Of course they do. And I'm sure there's an element of not wanting to sign a bit more of an older player because the resale value is not there. But I think to just seemingly abandon the idea of it completely is a bit naive, in my opinion. I think Chelsea could get Brazil guy. We just need experience and top like Ivan Toney. Yeah, exactly. You know, these are the sort of signings that Chelsea should be making. And I think, you know, if Roman was still here, I think Ivan Toney would be a Chelsea player. I'll tell you who would be a Chelsea player. Victor Osimhen. If Roman was in charge, Victor Osimhen would be a Chelsea player. I think exactly. He would have gone and spent that release clause. They would have gone and got that deal done. Absolutely no doubt about it in my mind. Guys, we're 20 likes away from the 100 likes mark. Come on, people. Keep smashing the like button. It's free. It takes seconds and it does really help out. It helps get more eyes on the channel. It boosts the content in the algorithm. The more likes on the show, then the more YouTube is going to recommend it. And that's what we all want. So please do that, guys. It's free. So yeah, please hit the likes. Run it up, run it up, run it up. This should be light work, people. I don't know why it's taking so long today, but this should be light work. So please hit the like button and please subscribe as well if you're new around. There's 7 away now from the 10.7. Keep going, people. I don't want another big name signing this summer. I hear it. As rival fan, Chelsea always sign lots of amazing players but cannot fit them in. How lining up for I don't understand that. Ivan Toney is the same level as Jackson. Look at the stats without pens. I don't think you want double Jackson's wages. I think you could easily get Ivan Toney within the wage structure. No doubt about that in my mind. I think you could definitely get Ivan Toney in the wage structure. Have you seen the quotes? Do you think Reece is hand? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't really know what else people expect him to say. Yeah, I think the comments that he's made on it are more than fair. And yeah, I'm not really sure what else people expect him to say on the matter. But let's move away from that recruitment stuff, guys, and let's move on to the news that Cole Palmer could be set for a new role. It could be set for a new role next season. Which, I mean, look, I don't think it comes as a surprise at all. But according to The Athletic, Palmer is going to play, has been earmarked for a more central role next season. Let's just bring this up now. And I think it kind of makes sense because, yes, he done really well on the right-hand side for Chelsea last season. Cole Palmer's been earmarked by Maresca for a more consistently central role. Chelsea haven't ruled out buying another winger. Now, I think Palmer playing centrally would make sense. You know, he's got the ability to play centrally. I think he played a bit more centrally towards the end of last season. We know that he played it off the right, but if we're being honest here, guys, Palmer's not a touchline winger. He's not someone that holds the width high up the pitch. He's direct, takes players on. He's someone that likes to drift in. He's someone that's, you know, going to occupy those central spaces. He's not going to be high and wide, hugging the touchline like like an old school winger. So yeah, I think it makes sense to move him a bit more centrally. Chelsea haven't ruled out signing another winger. I just feel that, you know, with Esteval and Paez coming next summer, why do we? I'd be against signing another winger. If you're going to move Palmer centrally, which I've got no issue with, then you should just use someone like an Angelo, for example, or promote Tyreek George to be an option there. You can still use Palmer on the right if you really need to. But this idea that we should be looking to sign another winger to compete with Madueke when you've got an Angelo, when you've got a Tyreek George. Yes, I understand that, you know, maybe they're better suited to the opposite side, but you know, at some point you've got to stop signing players. Esteval's coming, Paez is coming. You know, is it really necessary to chuck another winger into the mix? I really don't think it is. I really don't think it is. And look, I'd like to see Palmer play more centrally, but more centrally in a 4-3-3 suggests that he'd be playing as a number 8, you know, because there is no 10 in the 4-3-3. Obviously, you know, he'd get forward, he'd be advanced, and he'd, you know, operate in a lot of the areas of a pitch that a number 10 does. I mean, I'm starting to wonder whether, you know, Palmer's going to play deeper as a number 8. I don't think that can be entirely ruled out either. Palmer playing as an 8. I think there's definitely something to be. I think there's definitely something to be said about that. Palmer as an 8. Why not? It could certainly work. Yes. Beat yourself up. We're going to get there. I mean, someone in the chat needs to let me know when we're there. We're still 15 away, guys. Come on. This is not good today. Friday afternoon vibes. Let's finish the week on a high, people. 15 more likes required. Come on, guys. Let's get to work. Over the preseason, I want to see Nkunku and Palmer link up. Well, Palmer's not going to. I don't think Palmer's playing any part in the tour at all. The interesting thing to me is who moves to the right. They're looking for a left wing, so probably Sterling and Noni. Yeah, look, I think most of these players are good enough to play on both sides. Look, Angelo, it would make sense. Angelo would make sense to a degree. What is the plan for Angelo? You know, because you bought this guy, you loaned him to Strasbourg, and I think he's going to go out on loan again. For me, rather than signing another winger, just use him. You know, or if Tyreek George continues to impress, then give him a chance. You know. And Madueke, I think, should be the first choice on the right wing. You know, I really do. Like some of the winger names that we've been linked with, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, none of these are actually really anything better than what we've already got in terms of the names that we've been linked with. So, yeah, it's strange, isn't it? You know, let's see. Let's see about it. I think it could be. I think it could be very interesting. I think it could be very, very interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of tactical things that we can what are you lot thinking? Do you think Palmer should play centrally? Palmer will be the right 8 with Caicedo on the left. Play less deep. Yes, everyone hit the likes and subscribe. Yeah. The people know what to do. We're 9 likes away now. 9 likes away, people. Keep going, guys. Almost there. 9 likes away. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, guys. To be fair, Sterling played better on the right wing. Somerville is way better than Madueke. I don't believe he is. I don't believe he is. Yeah, he scored a hatful of goals in the Championship last season, but I don't think he's necessarily any better. don't want Palmer in the 8. He would only be doing that to accommodate lesser players. I think Palmer's best position, he's more than capable of playing 8. I think he's very good in the 10. He can play on that right-hand side, but he's not what Maresca would be looking for in terms of a right winger. That would be my only thing. Can't have Palmer shift to the centre this season. Surely Madueke just doesn't cut it with his piss-poor end product. Look, we've got loads of options. Look, it wouldn't necessarily be a permanent switch. It's just good that we're going to have a number of attacking options. That's the most important thing here. And the versatility we've got amongst this group, it's important, guys. It really is. What else is going on here? What are you not saying here? Very disappointing summer. Should have bought in Eze instead of Dewsbury Hall. I mean, it's easy to say these things. Yeah, sure, Eze would have been great. But the reality is, obviously, Chelsea don't see it that way. And, he'd probably end up staying at Palace. Angelo looks good on the right, less weight around than see. Yeah, this is my point. Look, I'm not saying that Angelo's some sort of world beater, but I think he's as good as some of the players that we're being linked with. So what is the point to go and spend more money when you've already got people here on the books? I personally don't get it. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me if I'm being totally honest as to why we would just not keep him. Yes. Big up, brother. Big up, guys. Keep subscribing. We're closing in. 7 more. 7 more to go. Guys, it's been slow on the subscribers front today. There must be some of the 115 in the building that aren't subscribed. So, yes, 7 to go. Keep smashing the subscribe button, guys. Free, and it takes seconds. Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, Gallagher, KDH, Carney. That's a lot. But look, I think the first choice midfield for me, Enzo and Caicedo are going to be 2 of the midfield slots. So then you've got Lavia, Gallagher, and Dewsbury Hall and Carney to rotate. Look, there's a lot of options in there, but there's a lot of games, and it's good to have options. Who's the Man City player we're reportedly interested in? Oscar Bob. Is Gallagher staying? I don't know, is the honest answer to that. We have too many options right now. It's good if we have many injuries, but if all stay fit, will be some disappointed players. Yeah, of course. Naturally, there will be. Palmer always played in the right half space anyway. Just watch the games. He was never on the touchline. But this is the thing, right? He might have lined up on the right-hand side, but he was always drifting. And this is my point about him maybe playing a bit more centrally, is that he doesn't, Maresca likes the wingers to hug the touchline and be direct and take players on and put balls into the box. That isn't really Palmer's game. Madueke is too selfish now. Saw it against Wrexham when he tried to cut in instead of passing. But yeah, look, Palmer set for that role. Let's see what it's like. I personally don't expect to see Palmer until the Inter game. I think we'll probably see him during the Inter game. That's the first time we'll see him. He's not due back until next month, so I'd be surprised if he played any part on the tour at all. Guys, 4 more likes to go. Come on, people. Let's get there. Final 4 likes. 3 now. Guys, on the 3, 2, 1. Let's keep it going, people. Last 3 likes. 2 to go now. Almost there, guys. Let me know when we're at 100 people. We need a solid left winger. Mudryk isn't good enough, and neither is Sterling. I wouldn't say that Mudryk's not good enough. He just needs to show the ability, because he's got the ability to be good enough. But yeah, we need to wait and see. But this is a big season for him. No denying that at all. Huge season for Mudryk. This is exactly when the Elise signing made sense. But now that we've missed out on Elise, there's not really any obvious choice for an upgrade in the winger area. So the kind of names that we've been going for, I'd rather stick with what we've got, to be perfectly honest. Elise would have been the one, but now I'm looking at it and I think, yeah, do you know what? I'm not really seeing who the one is going to be. Yes, big up, people, big up. I watched the game on replay. Could see the team trying to play the way they're being instructed to, but why can't they just show how to win a game? I wouldn't be bothered about not winning the game. I really don't think that matters. We've been in the country 48 hours. It was our first game. We've done one training session in the States. I don't think it's a huge issue. City aren't going to let him go, and I certainly don't think they're going to be giving him up to Chelsea, considering what happened with the Palmer situation. So yeah, I don't really see it, guys. I don't really see it. I think we should stick with what we've got. Any updates on Gabriel Meck? I think Chelsea have submitted their first proposal, but there's been nothing further on it as of yet. Yes, big up, brother. Big up to all the Chelsea supporters out in Vietnam. Big yourselves up, guys. Appreciate your support. I'm sure Maresca wasn't happy with Sanchez's distribution. Badia Shield, poor slow passes. Cole going nuts. Needs to control himself a lot. What I would say is, guys, on the first game of pre-season, is that don't over-egg the positives and don't over-egg the negatives either. It's first game of pre-season. It's a League One team. Let's just relax ourselves a little bit on all fronts. They do. Of course they do. But Chelsea would have to pay 60 million quid, most likely, to get Oscar Bob. And I don't really know if that's necessarily worth it, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, anyway, let's step away from the Cole Palmer central stuff. And I just wanted to speak on, I think there's been some quotes from Dewsbury Hall. Nkunku's been talking about his favourite position as well. Nkunku on his favourite position. I prefer being involved in the centre of the game instead of being down one side. I try to participate in every situation for the team. So he prefers playing centrally. Let's have a look. What else is there? Let me just have a quick look here. There were some Dewsbury Hall quotes. Oh yeah, Dewsbury Hall asked if Enzo Maresca will surprise people. Definitely, 100%. Look, I don't want to be banging on saying we're going to do this or that. He's unknown for a lot of people, but I can go off working with him and say my opinions, and I think he's top level. Hopefully we can back that up, because that would be the best thing for me and the club. I do think he will surprise a lot of people in the way we play and the way we do things. So we will see. Guys, we got a bit of transfer news as well, by the way. And let's just find it. Let's just find it right now. Let's just find it now quickly. There's a little transfer update that I've just seen. Let's get it now. Oh yeah, right, here we go. And it's not going to be a surprise, guys. It's to do with a striker. Ben Jacobs providing an update on Samu Omorodion. Chelsea still haven't given up on Samu Omorodion despite multiple rejected bids. None exceeding 50 million euros, including bonuses. Atletico Madrid don't wish to sell, and it may take 70 million euros to change their mind. But Atletico Madrid really want Omorodion to sign a new deal and insert a £120 million release clause. Yeah, I think we just need to forget about this. We need to forget about this. We should be going nowhere near the reported prices for. Excuse me. We should be going nowhere near those reported prices. Nowhere near those reported prices at all. Literally makes no sense whatsoever to be doing any sort of business at that kind of price. Can we see a situation where there's a bit of a discounted deal if we do a deal for Gallagher? Is there a possibility that we see something along those lines? Maybe that's a possibility, I guess. But yeah, look, to be going to that level of pricing, I think is madness. I just think we need to forget about it. Unless he is forcing a move, wanting to push a move out, he wants out, then maybe there's a deal to be done a bit cheaper. But right now, the guy's not even played for Atletico Madrid yet. So I can't. I just think leave this one unless he changes his mind and decides that he wants out. We just need to forget. We just need to forget and to move on, because paying that sort of money for someone is, it's not worth it. It really isn't, people. It really is not worth it at all. I just don't see it. I really don't see it, guys. Utter madness. Yep, facts. If we're leaving Osimhen, we can completely forget about this signing. I think so as well. Forget Samu and sign. Brother, I wish that was the case. I wish that is what we would do, but I can't see that. Would I pay that money for Alvarez? I'd pay would I pay 70 million euros for Alvarez? Yeah, that's about 65 million pounds. I would spend that for Alvarez because he's a far more proven quantity. This kid is virtually a complete unknown. So yeah, that's the reality of the situation. He is pretty much a complete unknown, guys. Yeah, I mean, look, I guess we've not given up per se because he could change his mind and decide to force a deal through. Fair enough. Yeah, but yeah, I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure on what the situation is going to be. I just don't know. You know, to be honest, guys, I really wouldn't even be surprised if it gets towards the end of the window and suddenly we end up paying 70 million euros for this guy. The mad thing is that cannot be ruled out. And that's the worrying thing here, is that it wouldn't even be a surprise to any of us if we decided to pay 70 million euros total package for Samu. You know, that's a big issue. That's the concerning thing for me, is you can't really rule any of this shit out. I'm struggling to see how we fit all the midfielders in their best positions. One or two players I wouldn't mind in the team could miss out. I like the idea of Palmer and Nkunku, the two attacking eights, but there's not going to be two attacking eights. There'll be an attacking eight, and there will be a box-to-box eight who's more defensive-minded. So Palmer could be an attacking eight, Dewsbury Hall, etc., Chukwuemeka. And then in a more box-to-box eight will likely be a Caicedo or a Romeo Lavia, for example. I'd love an Openda. Wanted him last year off Lons for 40 mil. Had an unbelievable season at Leipzig. Yeah, no, he's done well. The game they are playing is to get the striker before he's worth 100 million. Yeah, sure. I get that. I absolutely understand that. But at the same time, like, I don't think Omorodion's becoming a 100 million striker anytime soon. I don't want no disrespect to the kid, but I don't believe that Omorodion is becoming a 100 million pound striker anytime soon. Guys, 102 likes. Let's get this to 110 likes. That should be more than doable, people. More than doable. Let's get it to 110 likes. People, we're still 7 subscribers away from the big 10.7K. Come on, guys. Let's get this done now. 10.7K. Let's get there. 7 subscribers. There's got to be a few of you in there that haven't hit the subscribe button. So please do hit it. It's free and it would really mean a lot to me. So yeah, do that and keep running the likes up. Keep running it up. Silly question. How many ball managers in the Premier League? What, Maresca, Guardiola, Ten Hag. Maresca, Guardiola, Ten Hag. Oh, and Arne Slot. Definitely 4. It's a stupid deal. I agree. That makes more sense. Who is scouting these guys? I don't know is the answer to that. I'm not really, I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. Yeah, Sean Dyche as well. But yeah, the fact that, we seemingly haven't given up on Omarodion, I don't want to say it's concerning. As I said, there could be some sort of a deal there to be done with him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really know is the honest answer to this. How many teams have 100 million to spend on a player anyway? Not many. Samu's going to be Spain's #1 striker at the World Cup. What, in 2 years' time, he's going to be Spain's #1 striker? I think that's bold. Leicester fan here. Tried to warn you, Maresca plays slow, boring football. I don't know if it's... You won. I mean, as long as he wins, I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. As long as he wins, I'm not asked. That's what it's about. Win, win, win. But yeah, Chelsea haven't given up on Omarodion yet. So let's wait and see what else is going to happen there. Let's see what else is going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know what? I don't give a fuck who the owners want. I want my club top 4. Yeah, look, I think the top 4's on next season. I mean, I don't know enough about either of them. Ivan Toney is proven and has Premier League experience. Yep, agreed. Let a 17-point lead slip. Didn't win much during that time, but he won the league. That's all. That's what he was there to do. Look, if we end up signing Samu, is it a disappointment? Only time will tell. It would just feel very, very underwhelming. I think would be my overriding feelings on it. It would just feel underwhelming, and I think that's a perfectly normal thing to feel, underwhelmed by the situation. I think that's totally normal to feel that way about it. But yeah, that's the latest on Omarodion. Chelsea are looking. I mean, Spanish sources are suggesting that Atletico Madrid are increasingly confident they can agree a fee with Chelsea for Conor Gallagher. But Chelsea want 50 mil. I don't think we're going to get 50 mil. I think what we're going to see here is that if Gallagher is not going to be offered a new deal, the longer this goes on, I suspect that Chelsea will end up accepting less than 50. They're going to end up accepting less than 50. And we'll end up going from there. The longer it goes into the window. But again, I don't know if Gallagher desperately wants to leave for Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid would be a great move for him. Champions League football, La Liga, different country, experience a new thing. I think it would be good for him. I think he'd be perfect for a Diego Simeone team. But at the same time, I don't get the feeling he's desperate to leave Chelsea. I really don't. I don't get the feeling he's desperate to leave Chelsea. So it'll be interesting to see what we look to do. What are we going to do here? the new season's drawing closer. There's got to be a decision taken on this one way or another very soon. There simply has to be. One way or another, very shortly, this Gallagher business needs to be sorted. It needs to be sorted. He will be forced out. Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. But if he ends up staying, it'll be interesting to see what happens and how he's dealt with. You know, will he be frozen out? Will he be training away from the first team? Like, what's the scenario here if he does end up staying? Because we know, like, Chelsea aren't afraid to not treat players very well. You know, that's the reality here. That is the reality here. There's definitely space for Gallagher at Chelsea, whether as a squad player, starting the odd game here and there. I think there's definitely space for him. But the decision needs to be made soon. A decision needs to be made very soon. And we're not really any closer to knowing what the final outcome is going to be on this. We're not really any closer to knowing what the final outcome is going to be. You know, it's going to be an interesting one, guys. It's going to be an interesting one, but yeah, look, I'm not sure what's going to happen to him. Whether he stays there or not, I don't see Gallagher getting enough game time due to other available players technically better than him. What I would really love to know is what Enzo Maresca's genuine, honest thoughts are on Gallagher. That would be very interesting to hear. Legitimately, what his thoughts are. That would be very, very interesting to hear. And I would welcome hearing those thoughts. I would very much like to hear those thoughts. But I don't know if we will hear those thoughts or not. But yeah, it will be very interesting to hear it, what he actually thinks, because whether people like Gallagher or not, every manager he's played for has picked him. So there's got to be something there. There's got to be something there. Well, because we've not given up hope on him. That's why you're still seeing Omorodi on news, because they've not given up hope. Guys, 3 likes from 110. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. 2 more likes until 110. Come on, guys. Keep it going, people. Keep it going. Yeah, couple more likes to go. Let's keep it moving, people, and keep subscribing as well. People complaining about academy kids and we let go of the better ones than these lot in the past. I don't necessarily think it's about letting academy kids go necessarily. It's more about, I think it's more about the way that they're being treated per se. I think Maresca can't be trusted. Look how he spoke of Trev like he was a director or something. I don't think that's the case. Maresca, KDH came in, who's also above him technically. Yeah, of course, look, I'm not denying that technically Gallagher's not the best. Alvarez is not available for 70 million euros. No chance. They'd want 70 million pounds, I think, or as a starting point. Hall, Enzo, Lavia, and Caicedo, that's our mid. Gallagher needs to go if he wants to play more minutes. I wouldn't say he's not got a chance. There's Conference League, there's domestic cups, injuries, all these things that need to be taken into account. But yeah, Spanish sources are saying that Atletico are increasingly confident. Well, let's see how confident they are. Let's see if they come in with another bid. Let's see if they put their money where their mouth is. I mean, at some point, these things are going to come to a head, guys, and we are going to get answers to Gallagher's future. at some point very, very soon, because they're going to want this dealt with by the time the season starts. You don't want to get to the start of the season and we're playing games and stuff and the Gallagher situation is still not resolved. That is not a situation that we want to be in whatsoever. So whatever the decision is going to be, but if he ends up staying, you need to offer him a new deal because they're not going to want to lose him for nothing. So if he ends up staying, he'll sign a new contract. I'm pretty certain of that. Pretty certain of that. But yeah, guys, let's see if there's anything else to go through. Any last minute things to go through? I don't think there is. Let's have a look. No, it's been a little bit quiet on transfers recently. It really has been a little bit quiet on the transfer stuff recently. It's been quite a quiet summer, really. If we're I say quiet summer, we had all that manager stuff at the start of the summer, but it's been quite quiet, recently on transfer news. No, there's nothing further coming in. I suspect, as we head towards the end of the month, there could, well, we are at the end of the month almost, but over the next few days, there could be a bit more stuff. Certainly maybe something to look forward to. No, Lavier's not injured. No, Lavier is not injured. I think it's next month, start of next month, I believe. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Big yourselves up. Appreciate each and every single one of you for the support and for tuning in on this Friday afternoon when there's not been the most Chelsea news to go through. So big up to everyone as always. Please continue to hit the like button on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel on your way out as well. Guys, let me know. Do you want to watch along for the Celtic game tomorrow? Is anyone interested in a watch along for the Celtic game tomorrow? Let me know in the chat very briefly. Guys, anyone interested in a watch along for Celtic? And I might consider doing one if there's enough interest. Anyone interested in the Celtic watch along, let me know. And we could well do one. What I'll do is, guys, I'll run a poll on the community tab. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I might do a watch along tomorrow. If not, I'll definitely be back with some match reaction and other bits and pieces as well, if there's any news. But yeah, guys, big yourselves up. If there's enough interest, I'll do a watch along tomorrow. I'll let you know in due course. But enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Love for the support as always. Smash the likes, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you lot very soon. Up the Chelsea and peace out.